Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of September 16, Monday. I'm Riza Diaz. Kicking off today's rush with some areas in Luzon declaring class suspensions due to bad weather. There are no classes in all levels in Bacoor, Kawit, and Noveleta, in Cavite, also in Bukawi, Bulacan, and Subic, Zambales. Now, the same goes for the entire province of Rizal and Taguig City. Select schools in Marilao, Bulacan also declared class suspensions in all levels today. Now, these include Abangan Sur Elementary School, Abangan Norte Elementary School, and Marilao Central School. Arellano University in Ligarda, Manila also suspended classes and work for both teaching and non-teaching personnel today. However, only preschool and senior high students have no classes in the rest of Manila and the whole province of Bataan, in the towns of Botolan and Iba in Zambales, as well as in Naik in Cavite. And just a few minutes before broadcast, the town of Ternate in Cavite also declared no classes in all levels today. Now, there are no tropical cyclones inside the Philippine area of responsibility as of the moment, but Pag-asa is currently monitoring a tropical storm outside the PAR. Now, how is this affecting our weather today? Let's get the update straight from Pag-asa weather forecaster Lori de la Cruz. Lori, good morning.
Yes, good morning, ma'am, and to all the listeners of One News.
Lori, would like to know the latest on the weather, especially about this tropical storm that is still outside the Philippine area of responsibility.
All right, tropical storm Peipa is less estimated at 2,565 kilometers east of northern Luzon, but this weather disturbance is not expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility. That's why we're monitoring this because it's inside the tropical cyclone information area or boundary that is being monitored by Pag-asa. However, it is not expected to enter PAR, and it's not directly affecting the country. However, the low pressure area, which is formerly Marilyn, is still affecting the country by enhancing the southwest monsoon. And this southwest monsoon, this weather system is responsible for rains or downpour here in Metro Manila, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and Western Visayas. The rest of the country, so Verbical region for Northern Luzon and the rest of Mindanao and of Visayas, generally good weather apart from localized thunderstorms. And gale warning is also raised over Occidental Mindoro and Palawan area or Palawan province due to surge of southwest monsoon. So small sea vessels are still not allowed to venture out into the sea. That's the latest from Pag-asa. This is Lori de la Cruz.
Lori, just a question. We would like to know until perhaps when is the rainy weather going to persist?
Here in Metro Manila particularly and over southern Luzon, we're still expecting this downpour, light to moderate rains and occasional heavy rains over the next 3 days.
Now, finally, are there other weather disturbances that we're seeing from the satellite?
Apart from the LPA that we're monitoring northeast of our park, that is the formerly Marilyn, and this tropical storm Peipa, which is inside the TCI, and then also the shallow low pressure area west of Iba, Zambales. So there are 3 weather systems all in all. And apart from that, we're not monitoring any other weather disturbances.
Thank you for the information. That was Pag-asa weather forecaster Lori de la Cruz. Moving on to other headlines, particularly the sightings of dead pigs in Rizal. This comes after the Agriculture Department placed more areas under quarantine for possible cases of African swine fever. Ria Fernandez has the report.
More dead pigs turn up along rivers, this time at the Puray River in Rodriguez, Rizal. A resident says she saw 3 dead pigs already decomposing near their home. Veronica says the smell was so bad they had to get rid of at least one by letting it get swept by the river on Sunday.
Nung nakaraan linggo, ganun din, 3 rin. Tapos doon, sa banda doon, daming mga bituka pa ng baboy. Siguro nasira ng ano.
A local official in Barangay San Isidro, who refused to be named, says they did not see any dead pigs on the riverside when they did inspections. Veronica admits she was not able to file a report on the incident immediately due to bad weather. Now her concern is on her family's safety despite the Agriculture Department's reminder that the African swine fever has no effect on humans, only making them a carrier. Veronica says she's not taking any chances.
Andun lang po sila sa loob ng bahay. Hindi ko pinapapunta diyan.
The DA is appealing to hog raisers to report sick and dead pigs to their respective municipal or city veterinarian. This is to better monitor and determine the cause of the pig's sickness or death. Agriculture Chief William Dar condemned recent reports showing dozens of dead pigs found floating along Marikina River and a creek in Quezon City. He calls it an irresponsible way of disposal which can lead to further spread of disease. Dar reminds hog raisers dumping dead pigs that they could be charged for violating the Animal Welfare Act, which is punishable by 6 months to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of up to 5,000 pesos. They would also be found in violation of the Solid Waste Management Act, which is punishable by not more than 15 days of community service and a fine of 300 to 1,000 pesos. Meanwhile, over the weekend, Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte confirmed that the 11 pigs found dead in Barangay Bagong Silangan last Thursday tested positive for African swine fever. The DA also confirmed that more areas in Central Luzon have been placed under quarantine due to ASF. Exact figures are yet to be released. However, the DA assures the public that the situation is under control. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Now, even in Central Visayas, pig-related businesses are bearing the brunt of stricter rules on pork meat due to African swine fever. The Freeman reports that the Cebu provincial government has released an executive order banning live hogs and pork products from areas in Luzon, including Rizal and Quezon City. Now, those wishing to export pork to Cebu now have to present 5 additional documents before being allowed to do so. Feeling the impact of this stricter regulation are lechon houses, some of which claim to have lost thousands of pesos in income. This one from the Philippine Star. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is expected to release this week a partial report on its ongoing inquiry into Bucor's release of heinous crime convicts under the GCTA law. Committee Chairman Richard Gordon says it's also possible that the copy of the erased text messages and call logs from the mobile phones of the 2 Bucor officials will be given to the committee once it resumes investigations on Thursday. Filipino Star ngayon reports that several areas in Metro Manila and nearby provinces are set to experience power interruptions for the week. Now, due to Meralco maintenance works, Makati, Taguig, Valenzuela City, and Pasong Tamo and La Loma in Quezon City will experience interruptions in their power supply sometime in the day until Thursday. Now, the same goes for Los Baños and Calamba, Laguna, as well as Lucban, Quezon, and Barangay San Vicente in Angono, Rizal. The government's bloody war on drugs is turning 3 this year, and instead of a celebration, a memorial wall has been raised for the so-called collateral damage of the anti-drug campaign. Greg Gregorio with the story.
Almost 3 years have passed since Ella's son died, but time has not yet healed her wounds. Her son was one of the early casualties of President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. And after all this time, she still believes that her son was innocent.
Ang hirap mong kasi kaysa isang anak ko yun tapos pinatay pa nila parang hayop. Hindi nila binigyan ng pagkakataong mabuhay. Sana, binigyan nilang pagkakataon. Hindi naman laban yung anak ko eh.
Meanwhile, Nanay Emily's son died just 3 days after Christmas in 2016. She says what breaks her heart the most is not actually the death of her son, but the fact that victims like him are mere numbers, collateral damage in the government's bloody quest against drugs.
Tapos kung sinasabi po nila na police operation po yung nangyari, bakit po ganun kailangan po nilang patayin yung mga nandun sa loob ng bahay? Nagkakasayaan lang po yung anak ko kasama yung mga kaibigan niya. Bigla na lang po silang pinagbabaril ng mga pulis.
A photo of Nanay Emily's son is now a part of this memorial wall for victims of extrajudicial killings. However, Human rights group Rise Up admits the total number of EJK victims can no longer fit in this wall that is part of an exhibit organized by Resback and called Tatlong Taong Walang Diyos.
Buti nga nagkaroon kami ng available na space na parang free kami ilagay kung ano yung talagang gusto namin. Instead of baka may fear na ma-censor or pigilan kung ano yung talagang gusto namin ilabas na maipakita namin sa publiko na kung ano yung nangyayari talaga.
Included in the exhibit are the 4 photos from June Santiago, who is a night crawler in Cebu or a photojournalist who documents the implementation of the government's anti-drug campaign.
This is a story of the families, story of the victims.
For Commission on Human Rights Chief Chito Gascon, there is still a human rights crisis in the country. So he believes that through an exhibit like this, the public will be aware of the effects of the war on drugs.
Sa likod ng mga statistiko ay may mga tao na may mga pamilya at may mga buhay na nakitil. So magandang pagkakataon para makita yung human face ng aspetong ito.
The exhibit is open until October 30, Tuesdays to Sundays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Stall 9 in Cubao Expo. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Electricity rates are seen to go down over the next 3 years as Meralco secures new power supply contracts. Bim Santos has the story.
Meralco signed new power supply contracts expected to help lower electricity costs. The power supply agreements totaling 1,200 megawatts is also the first to be secured under the competitive selection process.
This is a great day actually for customers. This is a day when we are able to deliver to them savings of more than 9.4 billion pesos a year for the next 10 years. The success of the bidding clearly disproves recent claims that the bidding will not result in lower generation charges. Those critics were flat wrong.
Meralco says they expect consumers to save 28 centavos per kilowatt hour or 9.46 billion pesos for the next 10 years with the new contracts. The contracts signed were with San Miguel Corporation, Finma Energy Corporation, and South Premier Energy Corporation.
Pero I know Ray was trying to protect the consumer and trying his best to show everybody in Meralco what the new president can be. Ang importante sa lahat nito ay the welfare of the consumer. Ang pinakamaganda rito is makisama tayo dahil sa pagbabagong gustong gawin ni Ray Espinosa na mapababa yung presyo.
At least the most important thing is that the consumers are benefiting.
Meralco says they still need to secure one more contract for 1,200 megawatts under the CSP, which they expect will also be secured with cheaper rates.
Obviously, as a DU, we want to be able to complete the PSAs quickly and to secure the ERC approval as fast as possible. The CSP benefits the consumers because now, in order to secure power supply, we essentially bid out the requirement. So we invite power generators to provide their best offers, and our expectation is that these offers or rates will be lower than current generation charges.
Bim Santos, we are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.